Well, good morning or afternoon or evening, whatever it is when you take time to view this today. Um, just wanted to bring my normal Friday commentary to you. A couple things that I have been pondering in my head, and I hope that some of you will add comments after you watch this. One is on Mondays, I typically will upload just a simple YouTube video. I've been pondering with the idea of bringing a recorded devotion that I do to you. I don't know that it'll include the prayer because I tend to be very personal when I pray in the moment of the devotion. But I'm wondering if you would prefer to see a recorded devotion that I put out on Mondays. And if you like this commentary part that you get on Fridays, where I kind of talk about the theme of Sunday and what the scripture is. So those are two questions I'm going to pose to you. Please reply in the comments if you could, so that I can take a look at those and see what you like best. There will be time to time that others give me video devotions, and I'll most certainly upload those. But I'm tossing around the idea of just pre-recording some devotions on Monday as I hold true to my days off, and again then record commentary on Friday. So please comment about that. So this Sunday, our readings really during November kind of speak to us about the end of time. So this week, Zephaniah proclaims that the coming day of the Lord will be filled with wrath and distress. Paul says it will come like a thief in the night and urges us to be awake and sober. And then Jesus tells us the parable of the talents, calling us to use our gifts while we still have them for the greater and the common good. In a world filled with violence and despair, we gather around the signs of hope, of word and water, bread and wine, eager to welcome the good news of Christ coming among us. So I want to tell you what our scriptures for this week are. Our first reading comes from Zephaniah 1, 7, 12 through 18. Our psalm is Psalm 90, verses 1 through 12. The second reading comes to us from 1 Thessalonians 5, 1 through 11. And then our gospel text, Matthew 25, 14 through 30, and that is the parable of the talents. And really a little insight into where the sermon goes. We look at the 24th and 25th chapters of Matthew's gospel, just kind of prior to this account that we hear today about the Lord's passion and resurrection. And then the emphasis of Jesus' teaching shifts to this subject of end of time. So it begins with the prediction of the destruction of the temple in Jerusalem, to which the amazed disciples ask, when will this take place? See, Jesus always answers questions in a normal context for him, and that is by telling them that no one will know when the end comes, not even him, right? And then our gospel lesson for this morning then brings us into this parable that is intended to offer us instruction and encouragement to live a life of faith. And so my focus here is talking about really Jesus when he says, for it is as if a man going on a journey summoned his slaves and entrusted his property to them, that we think of this opening statement in the context that the man going on that journey is Jesus himself. And the journey, while he takes it, is his ascension back into heaven, right? Before he awaits the end of time. And so our focus really talks about what these talents that we're given, you and I, and how it translates to things that we do in our own life as Christians, as we think of the end of time here as Christ comes back again. So if we take it in context, the parable speaks to us who live in this intervening time between the Lord's ascension and God's fulfillment of the kingdom at the end of time. And it really does challenge every one of us who are a baptized believer, that have become a servant of God, that have entered into the gospel, to do what we can to increase God's kingdom. And so I go on in my sermon to give some different examples and things of that nature. And so I invite you to spend time and read through that gospel lesson. Obviously, you'll hear it on Sunday, but to put trust in the trust that Jesus gives us, that God gives us, and for us to use this gifts and our talents here on earth as we await the coming again of Christ, because we don't know when it will happen. So I invite you to sit with the text as this Sunday we continue to hear those words of end of time. We continue to hear these parables as we prepare for our Advent season. I hope that you have a blessed day. Please take time and answer those couple questions I asked about in the beginning, and just make a comment on this post. That'll give me a little better understanding. I hope you have a wonderful weekend. We'll see you on Sunday. Take care of yourselves. Bye for now.